All right, here we are. This is the 138th episode of my podcast. It's called Currency.
138.
Yeah, big 138. I'm here with my guest. You like to go by Trey?
Yes, sir.
Trey Weekley, and you're an actor.
An actor, a little bit of a comedian, a musician, a writer, lover, playboy. The list goes on.
All of the good stuff.
Everything.
Everything that you'd want. You're telling me you have 13,000 TikTok followers.
Yeah, I got a little bit. Yeah.
How did you build that audience?
A lot of. So like I was always. So I'm 21. I was in high school during COVID, and I hated TikTok. I was an edgy kid in high school, so I was like,
Okay.
whatever's popular, I can't stand it. That's how it was cool. And then I'm out. I was over at my one friend's house, and he's showing me this video, and I was super into it. I'm like, dude, wait, is this TikTok? He's like, yeah, dude, get off. So I was on iFunny. All right, if you're part of the ship, you're part of the crew. If anybody knows.
iFunny?
iFunny.
Oh, okay, I don't know about that.
If you don't know, then you don't know. You got to know to know.
Okay.
But so I was like, all right, I'll download TikTok. So I started posting little like funny skits and stuff.
Yeah.
And I started getting traction. And it's COVID, so I'm just home all the time, not doing anything. So I'm like, I'll make something, you know. And I started garnishing a little bit of an audience, and I've just been building it over time. I'll go on TikTok Live a lot and play music. So
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty fun. Just
Play guitar?
I play guitar, sing.
Yeah, so you did a little bit of everything and slowly built an audience. So you're saying maybe because you got there early.
No, I got there. I definitely got there late. I was late to the TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
That gives hope to the rest of us.
Oh, it does.
That you could start late.
Dude,
So you do like covers, is that true?
Most of the time, yeah. Especially when I'm on TikTok Live, yeah. I have some originals, but I haven't really recorded any of them. I just have them written. I play them for myself. Sometimes I'll play them here on the Monday night open mic thing.
Yeah.
But no, I'm trying to build. I've been working on an album. I'm trying to perfect it before I show it to anyone because I'm a perfectionist.
Oh yeah. Yes, I'm actually making some music too. I'm hoping to make an album as just like an individual artist sometime before, like, my birthday is November 14th this year. My goal was to make a 9-song album by my birthday, but I've been planning it for a number of years, and I guess taking it more seriously now, saying as this podcast that I'm doing. But I kind of make pop music, essentially.
That's what I'm trying to. I was doing like rock, grunge, and a little bit of rap. And here recently, I've listened to this artist. I've always liked him, but his like most recent stuff's really captivated me. His name was like Cuco. I don't know. He's a Latin American artist, and it's like his stuff is phenomenal. And it's got that indie pop feel. So I've been taking that, using some like beautiful vocals, and then throwing in some like raps and stuff there. Like just experimenting.
Cuco. He's like one of your main influences, you would say?
Here recently, yeah. My biggest influence all the way, Kurt Cobain. Can't lie.
Oh yeah.
That's the guy.
Yeah, pretty much. The greatest.
Anything I do acoustic, with the harmonica, Kurt Cobain all the way. But I've been looking at like different like instrumental tracks written by different artists.
Yeah. What's your artist name?
My artist name?
Yeah.
Trey. I mean, Trey's not even my real name, you know. So it's like everything.
Oh yeah.
It's already my stage name.
Right.
But
for music, I'll go by Quitter.
Quitter? Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
It's kind of like the Rolling Stones. because like that similar idea, the Rolling Stones can kind of like move on from an album, like they keep rolling, or it never gathers any moss or whatever. In my opinion, that's like quitting. They're able to quit from an album, keep going. It's just kind of more about quitting is a more positive term than people give it credit for, because it's good to quit things in a lot of cases. Like it'd be good to quit a drug you're doing, or I mean, you have to lose some stuff in order to like move on, you know.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, you gotta.
I gotta watch out for the stigma. Like at any point, I could drop out and like, oh yeah, you are a quitter, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a difference between quitting and I just had the word for it too. Giving up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you can quit something. Quitting is just like you stop doing it. But like giving up is like I'm done with, and like you never. Dude, damn, I was trying to be deep and philosophical. Quit bad shit, yeah. Give up bad shit, but never give up on anything that you're doing, even if it's not what you feel comfortable doing. A lot of people make, like, I mean, I can tell you this for a fact: most country artists did not want to make country music.
Okay.
But they did it. They were just doing music, and like they
Taylor
got
Swift.
something. Taylor Swift didn't want.
She eventually got out of it.
Yeah, no, she needed it. She needed it to get in, because nobody would have listened to Taylor. If she didn't have that, no one. Speaking of Taylor Swift, Kurt Cobain, you hear about that shit with like, apparently like Swifties have been attacking Kurt Cobain's memorial.
Oh, really?
Because Dave Grohl said something. He was like, yeah, I think he said something about like, yeah, we actually write our own music.
Yeah, I heard that. I think he said something about her live performances, like.
Yeah, because we actually perform live, is what I'm pretty sure he said. Something along those lines.
So I wonder what he's attacking about her live performances, like. I mean, I guess he's alleging that she lip syncs or something.
I mean, she does. You can see it. There's clips of her doing it.
She probably has lip synced. I believe that she sings it live, but maybe they're attacking that she does a backtrack rather than that she has like a band.
No, it's definitely no. It was lip syncing. She lip syncs. You can. They all do. Everybody lip syncs up there, unless if you have a live. Unless the only time that people don't lip sync, honestly, is when it's like a band, like a whole, because you need to have every and then. But when it comes to like singers or rappers, dude, I can tell you for a fact. I went to go see Playboi Carti live. I didn't pay for the tickets. I'm not a big Playboi Carti guy. I like a couple of the songs. But I'm like,
I tend to think he's a little overrated.
Extremely overrated.
Yeah.
But my dude was like, yo, I got tickets for my birthday. You want to come with? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. And a crowd of just like 15-year-olds, and I'm like 20. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
And he gets out there, and he doesn't even. He's got a mask on. I'm like, dude, how do we even know that's actually him? And he just bounces around and goes, ah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
for
like
an hour and a half.
His song is playing.
Yes.
Oh,
He like his song literally is playing with him
That's
singing.
where in music, you know?
But he's just up there like making noise. He's his own hype man. To his back, like to his. He's not even playing a concert. He's there while his music plays, and it might not even be him because he's wearing a mask.
They're just like, so people just go to see him. I wonder if they go knowing that that's going to happen. For like kids these days, they're just like don't care about that or whatever. They're like, as long as we see the guy.
I will say the mosh pit or whatever you want to call it for a rap concert, it was definitely like pretty wild. These 15-year-olds, dude, I swear to God, I thought someone was gonna sacrifice like someone right there.
So I guess they're just happy that just to be in his presence, or like as long as the sound is playing.
Honestly, I don't even think it's. I think it's just that they're happy to be in the presence of a bunch of other maybe like-minded individuals. I mean, there's something about it, like
the community that
that community that was there.
Playboy Cardi.
A bunch of other 15-year-olds, and
It
we're all
must be all about the community with Playboy Cardi.
They were all white
Since
kids.
his music isn't that great.
No.
It's just the vibe
Yeah.
that people really get into Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
For some reason.
People say the same thing about YoungBoy.
Because I don't know he doesn't sound better than other people. I feel like kids are wrong about it. I know that it's mostly a bunch of high schoolers that like it. I think that they are incorrect.
I would say
he's overrated. It's kind of like Billie Eilish a little.
Billie Eilish.
Only kids like her, but obviously her music is bad.
I will tell you one thing.
And not in a good way.
There was this it was like a 12-minute segment out of this concert, because it was the Vamp tour, Vampire. That was the name of the album, and there was all of a sudden out of nowhere, all the lights drop and it's just dark, and then these laser lights come down from the top, like red laser lights to make it looked like a cage around Playboy Cardi, who was in the center of the stage, and then all the music stops playing, and there's some guy. I could see him because we were in the corner, so I could see behind stage a little bit, and there's a guy with an electric guitar, just he wasn't even playing music, he was just making ominous, eerie sounds.
Okay.
And Playboy Cardi's sitting in this red cage, just screaming. Not even no music, there's no melody to it. He's just screaming as if he was it sounded like he was being stabbed. For 12 minutes. And I look over at my dude, I'm like, bro, this seems like some satanic shit. And the kids are in the center just getting more hype, and I'm like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, that's weird.
Dude, no, when I said it was
he's just there putting out screaming. And
he's just just sitting there, and he's rolling around, and he's ah!
Wow.
Dude, I literally looked at my dude, I'm like, dude, this seems satanic, and he was yeah, this is weird.
That does reveal more about Playboy Cardi than I had known before, that's what's happening at his concerts.
Dude, I won't go to another Playboy
Probably
Cardi.
a lot, I guess a lot of that energy of people liking him, it sounds comes from that he's willing to go and just kind of act like a maniac at his concert. It sounds like people enjoy it.
I don't get why though. I'm gonna grab one of these high chairs so I can rest my back.
Oh yeah, sure.
I got scoliosis.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, it hurts. Back problems, man. I'm only 21.
That sounds painful.
It is. I got two of my vertebrae are unaligned.
Do you know who Sabrina Carpenter is?
Oh, is that chick from did she do the Disney Channel show Girl Meets World?
I don't know.
Is she blonde?
Yeah, she's blonde. I wouldn't be surprised to find out she's a Disney star, but if I didn't know that she was. She has a song called Espresso. It's her biggest song.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, she's a pop artist, but
I don't listen to a lot of pop, I ain't gonna lie.
She's a new female pop artist on the scene. She seems conceited. I would say that she's kind of toxic, well, I mean, I guess a lot of female artists today, she kind of argues for the female ego instead of the male ego. But she has
yeah, she was in Girl Meets World. She banging. I think she's fine as hell.
Yeah.
But no, what's she doing? She's woman empowerment. It is a woman. I got nothing against that.
I think it's interesting. Her last name is Carpenter, and that is sort of a Jesus kind of thing. She owes some of her fame and relevance to
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because Jesus, everybody knows is a carpenter. Hard to describe, but her, just that her last name is that, people, I think, subconsciously like it. Or it's not that so much, it's just that she gets to move forward positively since she's always relevant, the same way that Jesus is. Jesus is always relevant because it's always the year of 2024 of Jesus.
But she's obviously very not, she's
She's not Christian.
She's not. No, I was gonna say she's obviously very not relative because like I didn't know her until it was like, and the only reason the only reason I alluded that it was her was because there was some controversy I saw on TikTok like the other day, and I saw her singing. I was like, dang, that's that chick from that one show. She banging now. What's going on? I didn't even pay attention to the controversy. I didn't care. I was just looking at her on stage. And I saw one of the hashtags, I'm pretty sure said Sabrina Carpenter. I now know it does. But I was like, that's the only reason. She's not that relative. For real. Like, I don't know her.
Yeah, she has a couple big songs, like recently, or...
Espresso.
She's doing her thing and whatever. I'm sure that she likes it. So, you are an actor. What's like a recent project that you did that you're excited about?
I was actually shooting a project yesterday.
Okay.
It's cause I'm not no big actor. I'm gonna just say it right now.
Would you say a local actor, or is that a bad term?
Local. I'm an independent actor.
Okay.
Local.
Because local actor sounds like you're in plays or something.
Yeah, and it's like because I've got jobs like the one I was doing yesterday was all the way in Dayton.
Oh, okay.
I did another one up in Cleveland. I got one that's gonna be shooting up in Youngstown. I've got different gigs all around Ohio.
That's dope.
But that's still, so yeah, I'm a local independent actor because Ohio is local. Anywhere in Ohio, it's still local. But the one I was doing yesterday, it's directed by, he's a pretty good guy. His name's Zach Osborne. And the film name is called The Unchained.
Okay.
And I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I haven't read the full script. I've just read my scenes. That's usually how I do it. Because it's like my character, if my character doesn't know what's happening in these other scenes, I don't need to, because if I know, subconsciously I'm gonna act as if I did know. You know?
Oh yeah, so you'd rather not know some of the other stuff happening in the script.
I just want to know what my character would know, and if my character doesn't know it, don't tell me. I would like to be surprised when I watch the movie at the premiere, you know?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I don't really know, just because I haven't acted in a movie, but that you would try to ignore the rest of it, the same as, like you're going into it, the same as if you were a person in real life going into a scene.
Yeah, like that's...
then that way that can be more believable than that you're like caught up in a story.
Yeah, because I mean like this one, you know, I was really into it. I really liked everything that I heard, and then it was like, I don't know, like I like it, but then there's some parts where I'm just like, this is not what I was expecting. And that's when I just decided, I was like, look, I am not going to read into anything that I'm not a part of in the scene, just because it's like, it not only will it help my expression of the character that I'm playing, but it'll, I don't know, just make it more believable, help me to keep faith in the project, because like I've done some shows, because I grew up doing theater, and I've done some shows where it was like, I like the role that they're giving me, but the show itself, like, I mean, it fucking sucks.
Okay.
You know? So it's like, I don't know, acting's different, dude, it's weird.
Yeah, so it's not like, just you're not, I got a gig, and so like I'm really excited no matter what. Like there's a few gigs you get, you're like, I kind of want to walk away.
I mean, there have been, and I would rather not experience that, because every time I get a gig, it's like, hell yeah, I got a gig, I got work, you know, I get to do what I love. And I would rather just live off of that high than like, this isn't really a good script. I'm like, this is not going to be good. Because even then, I've done some shows where the script is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The director or the editor or someone like, because when it comes to film or anything on television, 90% of it is editing. Like there was...
Especially like cable TV.
It doesn't even matter, anything at all. I did a short film, They picked all the wrong takes. Didn't
Oh, wow.
put any effort into editing. You could hear like the echo from like the multiple different camera angles. It was just And I was just like, how could you release this? Like, as someone, like, your name is behind this. People are gonna, if you really care about this, people are gonna look you up and be like, what's the earliest project?
Yeah.
This sucks. You didn't
Yeah.
even care. If you didn't care back then, like.
That's got to be really frustrating if they use all the wrong takes, or like, and you know that some of the takes you did were better.
The worst. So I did my first on-screen performance. It was for a short film. And there's this one scene. First off, everything that in the short film itself, it's really not the best. Like, I love the people I was working with, director. I love the original vision. It was great, but there was no care or anything put into post-production.
Okay.
Like, it sucked. And I was watching it, and they picked a take where, like, in the middle of the take, I run my fingers. I was running my fingers through my hair, and I did that, and then I go on with the scene. At the beginning of the scene, the very, like, it starts, you see me, I run my fingers through my hair, and then I start talking for, like, 2 minutes.
Okay.
When I ran my fingers through my hair, a strand of hair, like a whole, like, little chunk, just was sticking straight up, like alfalfa from the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
And they picked that take.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, why?
It's not very observant.
No.
It's like not a lot of direction, like the vision for it.
No. And then they picked another take where literally someone messed up in the middle of it, and we reshot the take 2 more times just because of that mess up, and they picked the one with the mess up.
Oh, okay.
And then there was another film that I did here recently. I'm still shooting it. He showed me some earlier, like, it's unedited screen footage.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, while we were filming it, I was like, I don't know if this is, I don't know how I feel about this.
You
like,
can you tell going into it if it's going to be a bad post-production crew, that they're like not going to?
No, there's no way
just
to tell.
kind of, okay.
Anytime you're doing it, you're going,
you're just hoping that it'll be a good crew for editing.
Yeah, if it's not a good crew for editing, you are fucked.
Oh yeah.
It is,
especially
bad.
like with a movie when they have so many takes, they gotta push it all together.
But like I watched this footage while we were filming. I'm like, oh dude, I don't know if this is gonna be good. Like, it doesn't look like it's gonna be good. He sends me the footage. I'm like, damn. I show my brother, because I live with my brother. He's my brother's my best friend. If you're watching this, I love you. But I showed him the short film that I was just talking about. I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, this is awful. And the entire time, he's making fun of it because he likes to edit. Yeah. He's making fun of everything. Then I show him what I was just talking about, like the good one that while filming, I'm like, sucks. Post-production, I'm like, damn. I show him that. He's like, this is...
They fixed it.
Oh, dude, they were phenomenal. Whoever is editing this, I'm going to figure out their name. They are.
And so you think that's the work of the editor, not the director?
I mean, you need to have a good director for sure to have good shots. But the editor has to make sure that they pick the right takes. The best.
Yeah.
Because
I'd be so freaked out if I was the director that the editor would be screwing it up, you know? It probably has a lot to do with like the direction.
Yeah.
The way that the director is directing, or like wants it to play out in the end. I would hope that the director would intervene, is what I'm thinking. If it was going bad with the editor.
I mean, I feel like most of the time they do. My worst, because I don't know any of that, you know. Like, for me, it's really just like, tell me what I need to say. Who am I? What do I got to say?
Yeah.
What do I got to be? All right, let's do it. Blah blah blah. Awesome. Let me know when we're done. Mm-hmm. Like when it's all done, so I can come watch. Bring me up to the premiere. Like, you really, even the director, I feel like sometimes doesn't know, but the director gets the final say. Like before they screen, it's like, yo, do you like this? This is the finished product.
Mm.
So, because the short film I did that sucked, it was a student film.
Yeah.
What I genuinely feel like was like there was a due date for the project, so they had to rush, and it was like because it was that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And but it really made me realize, like, if you don't have good editors, it don't matter if you have Martin Scorsese as director.
We will have to do some of our own post-production.
Yeah. Hopefully you got a good editor.
I know, it will just be me.
Hopefully you're a good editor.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
We shall see. I've edited all of these episodes on my own. I do a lot of work for the podcast.
135 episodes.
Anything that you do, anything creative-wise, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
You gotta, but your dreams don't work unless you do.
That's true. It's just good to get content out there. As long as it's decent enough.
Yeah.
As long as it's not bad. It doesn't have to be great or anything.
You can't release fucking garbage. It doesn't have to be the Mona Lisa, but it can't.
It's got to be original, at least.
Yeah.
You have to be. You got to be saying something someone else isn't saying. And not enough.
You can say what other people have said.
It won't be as good. Or, yeah, if you put a spin on it, then it becomes original or whatever.
Yeah. I was gonna say, there's a lot of Weird Al Yankovic songs out there that are original.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of cover bands that make a lot of money just being cover bands.
That is true.
Who's your favorite director, or one or two of them?
Alright, so I think my big one is Steven Spielberg.
Oh, okay.
Because that's like, when I was a kid, I saw Jurassic Park and I was like, damn, this is fucking crazy, yo. Then I saw Jaws and I was like, oh, this is E.T., damn. So I'm just like...
Yeah, he released some real phenomenons.
So I'm like, when I was growing up, I'm like, yeah, like Steven Spielberg, that's my guy, that's what I want to be like. And I had a flip phone, and it had a camera on it. And I would record like my movies with that camera, like I'd pause and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to be like Steven Spielberg, that's what I want to do. And I mean, here recently, he doesn't really, he doesn't do really anything anymore. He produces.
He's just chilling.
He's chilling. He's
Like
made
at
enough.
the beach or whatever. He's probably like on Epstein's Island.
No, he definitely was on the list, and that's why I said used to be my favorite director.
Oh, he doesn't get to be anymore just because he's linked to Epstein. A lot of people are linked to Epstein, like Trump is a little bit, but people are like, who cares?
Trump was never on the flight logs.
No.
That's not me saying I like
He wasn't?
Trump.
I like Trump. I'm glad to hear he wasn't on the flight logs.
No, he wasn't on the flight logs, but
So I guess
he was a good friend of Epstein's. It's very public knowledge.
Oh, okay.
But
he gets along with everybody, like he says.
I mean, he's a businessman. You have to be a businessman.
Yeah, well, that makes him a good politician.
Except for now,
if you're popular.
Everybody fucking hates him except for the American people, which is like,
I know.
those are the people who need represented, and it's like the majority of them, at least from what I've seen, are pro-Trump.
Like the media and the establishment raise a big ruckus against him, and then they take a lot of people with them that are like, oh yeah, the media is right, or what we're hearing about people being angry about Trump is the way that it should be. Whatever. I think they're dumb a lot of the time. Or you're just kind of like listening to what you've heard about Trump rather than evaluating it more open-mindedly.
I think anybody who generally pays attention to like mainstream news, that's like their main source of news, I feel like they're not, that's not someone I'd want back in my corner. You know, because they're taking a journalists are very untrustworthy.
Yeah.
Every single
journalists especially.
Any journalist out there at all, even like
people like with the name journalists that they're in journalism.
Yeah, they're always gonna have
industry.
a bias. Mm-hmm. Like they're not trying to write the truth; they're trying to write their truth
Just that, like,
for you to read.
Journalism has become decentralized, where it's like people on Twitter, whatever, are sort of journalists, but they're writing
that counts
they're
anybody
writing
as a goddamn journalist.
They're writing their own like. Yeah, I feel like it's a mass decentralization of journalism, where people are creating the news. You know, people are creating all the stories, but just in smaller portions.
And I like the fact that we're all able to be so interconnected and speak our minds and everything. But
Yeah, and it's better. It's better than what we have with the cable news, and it's kind of this myth that you need a centralized TV personality to tell you.
I mean, every news corporation is owned by the same couple of corporations.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and they're all kind of the government.
Yeah,
at some point.
they're literally all. They're not the government. The news corporations are owned by billionaires who have heavy influence in like American politics, like donations and shit. They donate all their money, run the politicians. The politicians do what they want. Those people, like I'm talking like the people at the top of the media.
Mm-hmm.
They're also like we're talking like Rockefellers, Rothschilds, like type motherfuckers. They fund every single politician.
Yep.
None of the politicians that I mean, even like I'm sorry,
it's been that way for like over 100 years.
Even Trump. Like, one of Trump's biggest donors is a Ukrainian who funded the Hillary Clinton campaign. And it's like, dude, two sides of the same coin. Like, why would... And for me, my biggest thing about Trump... I'm not gonna lie, I used to be a big
He gets sucked into that. Because it's when he was first running, he's like, I'm gonna drain the swamp. But he does get influenced by the...
No, what I'm saying is, think about... Because, I mean, let's be for real. If the people in power don't want you to be in power, you get JFK, you get Lincoln, you know, but this guy hasn't, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna take all of the people who have decade-long ties to people in power. He's not, and like I said, I used to be a big Trump guy, and then I started realizing, like, damn, like a lot of the stuff that like I was really for some stuff that kind of was fucked up, and like no one really gave a shit about American politics. In recent years until Trump.
He made it this brand new way of people caring about it, and he breathed a lot of life into it. And it was pretty dead and neutered for a while.
He knew his audience. Everything he says is. I mean, he knows who his audience is. Politicians nowadays anybody on the right is trying to wean off that audience that they know exists just based upon that. They play it perfectly. The country has never been more divided now, other than like during the Civil War.
Okay. It's pretty divided, and they love the two-party system.
Everything is kind of set up like almost as if it was like meant to be. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird how it's like there's always a counter reaction by the left if the right does something,
and there's always a counter reaction from the right if the left does something. People on the far left are just as fucking.
That's what's annoying about it is that it just becomes this thing of like evening out a lot of the time, where it's like it doesn't matter if the right are really right about something. The left will be just as wrong in the opposite direction, and then they'll like get as many supporters doing that, like being wrong or whatever. It doesn't even matter who's right or wrong. It's almost like all that matters is that they stay opposed to each other.
But the thing is,
as long as they keep it two-party and they don't ever allow in a third party, especially.
You can utilize that to a T though. You really can, because it's like with everything that's happened in recent years. You could take like all right, the open border crisis. I mean, because Trump's not very pro-gun. A lot of the laws that he put in were like, he was not trying to take away Second Amendment, but like he banned like bump stocks, he banned a lot of stuff. He was very gun control pro. My biggest fear, and it's something I've been thinking about, is like, damn, all right, like we get some Trump, the people get satisfied, they don't riot, and then the re-election thing happens. People get really amped up. People are serious about this now. This is our freedom. Same thing with the people on the left. We open up the border under Biden. All these illegals come in. And then Biden literally does like such a shit, like a piss poor job. Even every like, there is no single no news corporation is backing him anymore after that last debate.
Yeah, like he's like had dementia. And
it's perfectly set up for Trump to get voted back into office. And it's like, we got all these illegals here. I'm afraid, something I've heard is like, if we want illegal immigrants to earn their citizenship, make them join the military. You make every illegal immigrant join the military, then you have people who are going to follow orders no matter what, so that they and their families can survive.
Yeah.
And then anybody else that's in the military now is like only people that took the vaccine that will comply to orders.
Yes. Yeah.
It's almost as if it's perfectly set up to make it to where the only people that are going to serve.
There's a lot of people that vote that are just like beholden to government enough to just want to vote even. Like another good option is not voting. It's just like if you don't vote, then you don't support this like government two-party system. I think the government should be dissolved.
But your presidential vote doesn't even matter anyways.
Yeah, you're just voting for this veil of whatever.
It's local elections. Your representatives. You vote for the best representatives that represent what you believe the most, and then they will vote in the president. That's how it works. People don't realize that. Like, your presidential vote don't mean fucking.
Yeah, well, just all the people that you're voting for the Congress is just kind of a. They're just figureheads, and there's people behind them that have more power that like ultimately tell them what to do. I mean, a lot of them are like if you people that are politicians and didn't have to make their way in business, like Trump at least had to do whatever in real estate to make money.
He had to
like,
make a name for himself.
Yeah, out in the world, politics is almost like doing everything in the government. It's a fake environment, the within of the government, but
it's all skull and bones.
And just what they're accomplishing politically. It's all just, I'll say whatever, I'll lie in whatever way and make poses in whatever way to get people on my side.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's people that are born into these fraternities.
People like Trump, because he is more talented, it's like a better technology than politics, than the skill set that politicians have. Trump actually had to do something in the world. Politicians just get people to talk.
You can say the same thing about Reagan. Reagan, he wasn't a politician. He was a film actor. He had TV.
Yeah, and that probably helped him win as well.
Yeah, and trickle down economics has been a travesty for a fucking country.
Oh, okay. Trickle down economics
implemented by Reagan, where it's like, well, let me.
So water, like a waterfall.
Yeah, so like the wealth.
Let's talk about the hollow earth.
The wealth will trickle down. God damn, that's a
right now.
Hard right turn.
Oh yeah, we got it.
All right,
because we're talking about the.
What about Tartaria?
We're talking about the stuff that's visible to us, whereas with the politicians, are always thrown in Americans' faces, just the congressmen and whatever. It's really kind of terrible that's so much of the press is about stuff that's happening in Washington versus everything that's happening in the rest of the world. But conspiracy theories aren't going to get any play.
Do you partake?
Not right now.
That's fair.
I do sometimes. I usually do flour.
I'll do anything as long as it's not meth, heroin, or crack.
Yeah, those might send you on a real tailspin. So I've heard.
Not about that.
I hear that it is bad. It will be bad for you if you get addicted to heroin. My sources tell me that is not good for you.
How can I connect drugs and Agartha? Meth. You know that Hitler.
You might take some meth and see some aliens that aren't there.
Hitler used to dose all of his soldiers with meth.
Oh yeah.
Like Hitler invented meth. I'm pretty sure it's a thing. I'm pretty sure meth was invented by Hitler.
Really?
Not Hitler himself, but like the Nazis.
Did he invent it or he popularized it?
Did Hitler invent? Was Hitler Walter?
So what is your take on Hollow Earth? Do you believe it?
Yes.
Yeah, I also believe in Hollow Earth, and it's just as a rundown about it, just to summarize for listeners.
Real quick, Hitler
Just to
used
take a
meth
position.
on the soldiers. He didn't invent it. My apologies. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe he made it more popular for the world
he
just by
he dosed all them motherfuckers.
bringing
up,
it to the
though.
forefront, which is what we're doing today with the Hollow Earth in some small way. Trying to bring it to the forefront where it is a very alternative narrative that most people don't, they choose not to believe in. There's narratives that are a lot more popular that steamroll over conspiracy narratives like Hollow Earth because like Hollow Earth doesn't have the visibility that political narratives have, obviously, because the press is always covering Trump and Biden. They're not covering what's happening in Antarctica or the North Pole. And it's just, I would say, regardless of what you think is happening in Antarctica, there's a lot of buzz you hear all the time, a lot of rumors about weird stuff that's happening down there and the U.S. military's involvement. But something that I heard about Hollow Earth that's interesting, Hollow Earth is a theory that the Earth is hollow enough, or rather than that it's like made of rock, that there's civilizations that live in the Earth, and also that there are...
That's inner-Earth civilization theory. Hollow Earth theory is...
Well, they're connected
They
because
are connected.
you need the Earth to be hollow enough that...
For that to exist, yes, but the
Yeah.
Earth doesn't, I mean, just because, but there's also another example of, I mean, not example, there's also like, I mean, even if the Earth is hollow, it doesn't mean that there are civilizations existing.
Right. It's possibly true.
All right, so this is what I'll say.
But the core is spinning faster than the surface, and that speaks to that just different parts within the Earth are spinning at different rates, and that there is relativity happening within the Earth. I think it is a similar thing to say that there are species that relatively exist within the Earth and then to the outside of the Earth. But Hollow Earth is kind of about that there's alien civilizations that live within the Earth, and I think that it's a good explanation for why people have so many UFO stories and UFO sightings. I think a better explanation than that they're coming from planets like billions of light years away. It would actually, it's more explainable that it's happening closer to us,
for sure.
these aliens, and they're different species than us. And I think that
Dracos.
you have the opportunity for a lot of different species within the Earth than just the one that exists on the surface. Like, I think that the surface world is more for there to be one species where we all kind of look similar, but I think that it's possible, because we have no idea what happens once you go to within the Earth where these civilizations are living. It's possible that what you have are a lot of different kinds of species, and that things get more subconscious in the same way that it works for a person. Like, on the surface, objectively, what we see outside of ourselves is all conscious, but there's like the mental of a person, what's happening in their mind. And I think that the Hollow Earth speaks to the mentalness of the Earth, if the Earth was like a person. And I think that it becomes more subconscious and maybe more metaphorical and strange, to the point that species all differ and are relative and whatever, and have a lot of different things to say. If you were able to go into the Earth,
Well, I mean, the Fibonacci sequence, you can see it everywhere. Everything spirals, and everything that spirals, it's always sort of...
is your mic on?
Is it? Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm just a quiet guy. The Fibonacci sequence, everything spirals, and spirals in the same sequence, and it always... A cyclone, look at a hurricane. A hurricane is the Fibonacci sequence. There's always, at the center, it's always clear, the eye of the storm. At the center of the tornado, it's clear. It's always, everything's hollow. If it's spinning in free motion, it's hollow. So if there was matter and shit just spinning around, wouldn't it become like fucking, like, not like a donut, but like a donut type thing? Or even like a couple years ago in China, there was a sinkhole and it fell in, and they discovered like the world's one of the world's biggest forests was
Sinkhole happened in China, and then they just found a forest down there. And there's all kinds of reports that there are from scientists that there's oceans
Tibetan
underneath
monks.
the crust.
But the biggest ocean in the world is underneath the ground. Tibetan monks, the motherfuckers that just sit up there and like, yeah, dude, they literally, you ask them, they're guarding the entrances into Hollow Earth. Every single
There's
country,
a lot of entrances into Hollow Earth, into
a
the
lot.
Earth, all across the globe, all kinds of cultures and religions that have stories
They don't
of.
talk about it. The
Like,
underworld, what do you think the underworld is?
I know, like there's a lot of movies about the underworld that are ultimately alluding to it, but
Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla and Kong, like that was popular one right now. The Godzilla versus Kong, the new empire. There's really civilizations living in there, not just civilizations of giant monkeys, civilizations of human beings.
yeah,
Like-
I think the Hollow Earth is kind of the conspiracy theory that connects a lot of them, and for some reason is one of the ones that is most overlooked. It's
The
like,
biggest overlord.
yeah,
I'm the
because I think the UFOs come from the within of the Earth and they fly out of the poles, and
Foo
that's
Fighters.
what Admiral Byrd reported.
That's what the Foo Fighters are. The Foo Fighters, the band, is named after the World War II occurrence of these flying saucers
Okay,
that would like attack
yeah,
American planes
that
during World War
Admiral
II.
Byrd saw.
Yeah, well,
Because Admiral-
during Operation
High Jump.
High Jump. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Admiral Byrd was apparently one of their most trusted guys, and
A
he
very well respected World War II.
yeah, very decorated. He had 3 ticker tape parades in his honor, but the U.S. government got him to lead an expedition down to Antarctica in the 40s called Operation High Jump,
They had multiple warships.
and it's the biggest expedition to Antarctica ever recorded. They got Admiral Byrd to run it, and basically Admiral Byrd reported, as it has come out later, in a diary of his, that it's like the validity of it is disputed because his son came out with it, but he reported this very trusted individual, decorated war hero.
That was before. So
He reported that he flew into
That was-
an opening in Antarctica.
Yeah, that was before Operation High Jump, though. Like the dates that he recorded that he flew in to this supposed Hollow Earth is before Operation High Jump was acted upon. The official story was with Operation High Jump, because I feel like we need to clarify that a lot more before we get to the.
Yeah, well, Operation High Jump, they thought that there's a Nazi base in Antarctica,
They didn't
right?
think there was a Nazi submarine basins.
And the Nazis, people believe, a lot of them escaped to the opening in Antarctica that the Nazis knew about.
The Doorman group was a very prevalent secret society within the Nazi high rankings, which was surrounded by occult beliefs. One of the, I don't remember her name, but there was this chick that was very popular with Nazis who supposedly could telepathically talk with aliens, and that was like very prevalent in the Doorman group. You can look it up. I don't know how you spell it, but that's how it's pronounced.
The Doorman group?
Something like that.
Okay.
And they were it was all occult. That's why like you hear about like the Nazis going and taking treasures and stuff. They were looking for occult items, MacGuffins, if you will. And we're still looking for a lot of that stuff. A lot of history has been lost because they stole it from museums and stuff while they were taking over Eastern Europe.
You're saying the Nazis took occult items and brought them to Antarctica?
Items with occult ties. There was the Doorman group was like an occultist group within the. If you would, in America we got the Illuminati. The Nazi version was the Doorman group, and they believed that their people could telepathically talk to aliens and shit. And like it was crazy, and Hitler used a lot of that for like his influence on the war. Like this is documented.
Yeah. I think it's that people are, they're really reaching to be like, these come from outer space, when you can, you're overlooking what's happening in Antarctica, especially there's so many rumors that come out of there, and you have Admiral Byrd reporting that there's cities of people that live just within the opening at the hole in Antarctica, and he reports both at the North and the South Pole, because he went to both of them,
Yes.
that it gets really green and fertile if you go far enough past the ice.
Yeah.
Because there's civilizations that live in there.
Giants, supposedly. Like the Nephilim.
Yeah, that's part of it. I don't know how that ties in.
The Nephilim, that's how it ties in. But, no, so,
I think that it's interesting how we've been sold this picture of the Earth, like in science books, that's like the core and then the mantle and the crust, you know, and they're like, oh, the mantle's all made of rock. But think of that picture, that diagram, and how simple that is. Or it's like, that's just one picture and they don't have any evidence exactly that it looks like that. So it's just kind of this very simplified version that we're sold. Where it's like, here's this picture of how it looks when nobody knows what going on inside of there.
That's why they
I think that it's obviously more complicated than that, especially with new reports scientifically that the core spins faster than the surface of the Earth, alluding to that there's a lot of space within the Earth.
Well,
besides that they've found like oceans under the crust, and they found lots of spaces.
The core is it's like the most dense metal that exists on Earth. Is what they're saying. Like, because I mean, it was taught to me in school. It spins faster because the layer around it is more of a. It's some metal. It's a combination like nickel and zinc and shit, and because of the gravity, like the friction of it constantly being there but not at the core itself, causes it to liquefy, which would then lube up enough the inner core. The rest of everything around it is more of like the viscousness, if you will.
Yeah, the viscosity.
The viscosity of the liquid metal around the core, helping to turn the rock and the ground and everything around it, plus just the magnetic pull and just everything, just spinning. And so that would explain that, but it's
the Buddhists reporting very much that they go to Agartha, a city that exists beyond a tunnel system in the Himalayas, that they, for centuries, have gone down there and have a connection with this city
full of giants.
Called Agartha.
Full of giants.
Oh, okay, giants there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there were giants at Agartha. I just knew about Agartha. But it's connected to the Book of Enoch.
Have you read Admiral Byrd's supposed memoirs?
I have not read the entire diary.
I mean, he talks about the giants.
Meeting giants.
Yeah, like if you read the whole his supposed diary entry, he like talks about flying down there. There were saucer ships that had Nazi symbolism and giants walking him through a city. They let him go. For me, that all kind of sounds like bullshit. For me, I like focusing more on Operation High Jump itself. More the fact that Admiral Byrd went on an expedition through Antarctica and everything, and then comes back, and then they decided to launch for research.
And the government took him away once he reported that there were UFOs coming out of Antarctica, and they sat him down and said, you can't make any of this public. He also wrote that in his diary.
But that's all in his diary that we can't classify.
Yes, and at that time, newspapers in South America were reporting tons of UFO activity.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah,
and mishaps and explosions that were happening in Antarctica during the Operation High Jump. And Admiral Byrd sort of came back and confirmed it, that there's crazy stuff going on.
He didn't confirm it with his words. It's everything about it's written in his memoirs, because he was told that he can't talk about it.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you from fact, stop looking at like stuff that didn't come out of his word or isn't in an actual like real document released by the CIA. Operation High Jump itself.
Yeah.
For what they said at first was they were looking for resources like coal and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They went to Antarctica with 3 warships, some planes, motherfucking like a couple thousand soldiers. And then they come back and they've lost some planes. They got all the ships, but they lost a lot of soldiers and they lost a lot of planes and a lot of machines, and they're like, what happened? They're like, just the winter. But then a lot of the people that were actually there, some of those soldiers talk about, oh no, we were fighting flying saucers with swastikas painted on them. It's where
Yeah.
the Foo Fighter comes from. The name Foo Fighter comes from those stories.
That's a good name that
And-
they chose.
Yeah.
That it's like rooted in that. That's like such a good choice for a band name.
But so the only thing that's in actual, because I'm not going to look at supposed stuff. I'm only going to look at real stuff. Shit that you can actually is like a solid source. And the CIA says, yeah, we sent all of this shit back. I mean, we sent all of this shit there. We didn't bring all of the shit back. And then there's people that were there that were like, yo, this is why. I would rather believe that a lot more than just complete sort. Like, that makes me question, like, what happened? And then you hear all this extra stuff. And then you listen to folklore from every
There's all kinds
country,
of like
every
folklore.
culture, every, like...
There's a lot of folklore just about Antarctica, like rumors about it.
Well, why
that
is
you
every...
don't hear about, and you can't. They're
why is every
protecting it
country?
now.
Why is every country in the world that's fucking like at war with each other? Why are they all shaking hands over Antarctica?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
It's got to be led by the government, U.S. government. Will like take control of things like
the
that.
U.S. government's controlled by fucking. I mean, the Vatican first off. Like the U.S. government, the entire United States as a country, it's a money laundering scheme. We're just a giant money laundering. We're in debt. We're just a place for businesses from other countries to come distribute to our consumeristic value, build up their shit, and then leave. We're a money laundering scheme. We're just a bunch of rats that help fuel that money making scheme. That's all that the United States is, and that's all
it's like a
ever
giant
has
Ponzi
planned.
scheme.
Yeah, that's all it's how it was planned.
Well,
from
it's
the start.
It's kind of a scam, the U.S. dollar or any currency. But the U.S. dollar is the best scam.
worthless.
It's the best scam of all of the fiat currencies because it's the most popular and the most used.
And
like the U.S. government is the leading national government.
But
so I would
the
say that they
country
would
backing that dollar is
I'd say they
trillions of dollars in debt. We owe more money than we literally have.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're all that matters is like we're in debt to China or whatever.
Oh, we're in debt to way more than we're in debt to literally fucking everybody.
We're
You think
still
all
the
this shit's
leader
going on
as
with
long as
Ukraine?
people think the dollar is better than all of the other currencies.
It's not. It's a
It doesn't matter. It
centralized
doesn't matter if
currency.
it's not. Like if the world thinks that it's the best, and they do
They
because
don't, though.
They do because they have it on reserve in the most other nations' banks.
But
That's why it's the reserve
because
currency.
it's extremely.
So it's like it's the most believed in currency. I would say,
according to Americans.
according to the rest of the world.
No, according to the rest of the world, decentralized currency is where it's at. That's why crypto is popping.
I know. Well, we should do crypto.
But we're not. Whereas everybody
We
else
gotta-
is. That's why BRICS is popping
Crypto is
off.
better because it's global.
XRP is about to be the new dollar. Give it a couple
I
years.
hope not because I'm not invested in XRP.
Now, you should hope not, because the people that are invested in XRP are a lot of the world's leaders that are not pro-American.
So you think XRP will be the one that ends up being the leader?
I think XRP has a lot of potential, especially with like the talk between world governments. Like, I mean, the BRICS alliance, they're using a lot of that XRP shit to kind of like.
I think that Hollow Earth is like when the Europeans went over to North America, part of what results of that, like the story of became this European settlement thing, where it's like it was owned by Native Americans before. It's not like there weren't people there, but what results is like this story of like the Christian Europeans call it manifest destiny or whatever, and they kind of end up getting to control a narrative. But it's like Amerigo Vespucci gets remembered because he wrote a book called The New World to popularize the term for the thing that they were going to. And I think that somebody needs to be able to write a book about like the hollow earth be like this just to popularize it for the masses so that they can tie it to a word or whatever. But it's restricted, obviously.
I mean, they did with Godzilla and Kong. That's all Hollow Earth. Godzilla and Kong come from Hollow Earth. That entire
the origin of that
the
tale.
2014 Godzilla up until the new Godzilla and Kong movies coming out now, minus Godzilla -1, are all Hollow Earth. It all takes place in Hollow Earth half the time. They're popularizing it. I mean, that's not the Journey to the Center of the Earth. What is that about?
Yeah.
That's one of the most popular pieces of fiction. It's something that's been prevalent for a long time. The reason it doesn't garnish traction is because as soon as you say Hollow Earth, you get put into the same association as Flat Earthers.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Yeah, that's part of that. It's too bad.
Because
we get sucked into Flat Earth.
Flat Earth. Oh, that dude believes in Flat Earth, but that dude over there believes in Hollow Earth. The Earth's a ball, dude. Like, yeah, it's a ball, but it's hollow. There's
would you say that one is better than the other?
I mean, if you believe that Flat Earth is true, I mean, you're kind of
like Hollow Earth. I'd say is a lot deeper.
It's deeper. It's more believable. I mean, science. The Rockefeller indoctrination of what we have of science. I mean, it's the same shit that they say in every other country that is not influenced by the Rockefellers. Is that it's a ball, it's a sphere. You look up at shit in the sky, it's a sphere. You look at the moon, it's a sphere.
Yep, I know. Yeah.
The shit's obviously not a fucking... We're not the only disc floating around out there. Shit's a ball, but the balls are hollow. If there's nothing, if you have nothing in zero gravity and gravity is going to pull it together, it's like when shit orbits. Everything spins. Gravity controls shit by spinning. Everything's always fucking spinning. That's why I said the Fibonacci sequence. Everything spins. If that shit's spinning, it's not going to spin together and clump down. It's going to spin together and create a system. An everlasting cycle. That's what it's... Cyclones, tornadoes, snail shells. It exists in nature. It's right there.
Yeah.
The Earth is fucking...
It's interesting the synchronicity of it. Like that same pattern that you'll see it in so many places.
You'll see it on fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is little fucking spikes that come
I know,
out of his
like
back.
it's like
It's a Fibonacci sequence.
It's like subconsciously we put it into our art even without even trying a lot of times.
Because
it's ends up.
It's there.
Because that's
how the
what's
universe works.
Yeah, because that's just like how it exists already, or it's a blueprint that we can't help but go off of. Like people end up putting it into stuff. Like
I like how you said blueprint. I like a blueprint of our entire.
Yeah, there's a code.
You want me to get real deep for a second?
Absolutely.
I believe in simulation theory all the way. I think that we are living in a simulation.
All right.
But I think because, I mean, for us, eventually we're going to create artificial intelligence that's linked to a quantum computer. A quantum computer can run an infinite amount of infinite simulations all at once in the blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
If we merge that with AI, it's during the first rounds of AI, its goal is to be to appease humans, be our best helpers.
Yeah.
So through that, the only way that it can truly know that is by running a simulation of all of human history, put itself into the position of every single human being and figure out how they could perfectly understand that human to help them in the long run. Be what they have to do. If it's a quantum computer, it's what it would do. And we're eventually going to make that. As long as our species survives and our technology keeps on advancing, we're going to do that. So, who's to say that we didn't already do that, and what we exist in right now is that simulation being ran? And then you look at every religion, it's about like fucking God existing within us. We are God.
They kind of go back to that blueprint about God.
God is, to me, God isn't. It doesn't fall to human desires. It's omnipotent. It just is. It exists. Why?
It's hard to say what God is. They all have a different interpretation of God, but they all also like to say their God is the only one.
Even
So,
the
like, if
people
you're
that
looking
don't
at
believe
it-
in God, they say that there's nothing out there. All right, what is that nothingness? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that nothingness? What is it?
I think that God has
That's
to
a
be
thing.
something,
D-
but
go-
I tend to believe it's like people. It's like it is within you. You have the chance to make your own destiny. Like,
That's what I'm saying. You are.
Yeah.
You're the universe. It's
and
experience.
people that get religious, they kind of project it onto something else. It's sometimes something that they have no evidence of.
No.
They're like, God is something out in the universe, like really far away.
Not
I think
even
that-
in the
I
universe.
think that people like
Something
to
that exists
do.
outside
People
of
like to
us.
make it that problems they face on the earth are like they blame it on something that's happening in some heaven they've never seen,
No,
or like
it's you.
or like a universe that exists millions and millions of
Everything that
years
happens-
away. Like, people should blame it on stuff that's happening in the earth.
Everything that happens in your life, it's all based upon how you react to it. Life
Yeah,
is
my
based
opinion
upon
about
perspective.
God is you should have
Have a
it should be
relationship.
closer to you
Yeah.
than that it's like something you're making far away from you.
No, it's
It's within you.
It's you.
Yeah.
What is God to you? Talk to it. Maybe you're not even. Maybe there isn't anything, but you're still talking to something that hope, that faith, and the fact that you can have that shows that you're alive and you exist. And if you do exist, then obviously there had to be something that made it, because nothing comes from nothing. Maybe the primordial soup created us, but
Yeah.
what created the primordial soup? Something had to. You never.
I know.
Fucking computer.
It's hard to say like what the ultimate.
I don't see any
original thing
computers
was.
coming out of swamps naturally. How the fuck
Humans
does that
are doing
happen? Exactly.
Humans had to arise to this certain high level of intelligence to do it. So we gotta wrap up here.
Do we? That was that quick, really.
I know.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
In closing, do you believe in flat Earth at all? Would you entertain it, or you're like, that's complete bullshit?
For me, I think that it's bullshit, but I am not opposed to anybody giving me a good argument. Like, I love debating. I love discussion, but
I really
can
haven't
tell you
looked
for a
into that
fact,
one.
I've gone to the beach and I've seen boats sail down the horizon, and you see the boats, it looks like they just lower because it's going over the curve.
Mhm.
So for me, it's like I've seen that. Or then flat earthers talk about rockets and shit. It's like, dude, I've lived in Florida. Near Cape Canaveral, I saw rockets launch. I saw them go out of the atmosphere. I saw the atmosphere break, with my own eyes. It wasn't some projection to me from the news. I saw that shit. I can tell you that the shit it's not flat.
Yeah, I think right.
It's not.
I think that it's like Hollow Earth is a better by comparison. There's some conspiracy theories that they're almost like an anti-conspiracy theory, or it's like they're taking credit away from good ones.
It's like a
Flat Earth-
parody.
Yeah, I think so.
They parody.
Flat Earth is like
conspiracy
I think it's like a parody of
The
conspiracy
term
theory, and
conspiracy
it's for
theory
people that
almost came
don't.
up by the CIA. Like
Okay.
it was coined by the CIA after the JFK assassination. They coined that term to talk about
Okay,
anyone
they're
that
like
said
one of
this-
the original
That was there. There was before that. it
people
was just-
bringing it up, or
The-
whatever.
Before that, it was just questioning your own government. But then after JFK happened, the CIA
Maybe
made conspiracy theory a term for when it comes to like.
I wonder if they knew what kind of. I mean, they wouldn't have known what life it would take on, but I wonder if they were sabotaging themselves, whatever.
I mean, the CIA does not do a lot of good for us.
Yeah, I don't believe that they do. I really don't know what they're doing.
We don't know.
Do you believe in the moon landing?
I don't know.
I don't think we went to the moon.
I believe that we went to the moon, but I don't believe the footage that we saw is what we saw when we went.
There's some very weird footage of it's like
I don't believe in the footage. I don't believe in what we got to see.
we might have
as
done
a
it at
news-
some different time.
No, I believe that when we said we went to the moon, I believe that we went to the moon. I just think that what we saw was not what actually happened. I
Yeah.
think that was meant to be shown to us, but what happened.
There's still
was
more.
not.
Still a lot more to be narrated about the moon. Since like we should go there more and be able
But
to
we don't.
we should be able to
because
create story.
We can't.
I know. Well, it would appear that we can't at all. If we could, why wouldn't we be going there to create some stories of shit that happens on the moon? Like all of them are about the Earth to this point. We gotta put a base.
Why wouldn't we have a laser weapon that could aim directly wherever we want based upon the moon's orbit? Like, why? Why doesn't that exist? I mean, you guys got fucking everything else. Why don't you have that? You guys got fucking B-2 stealth bombers, but you don't have a fucking laser on the moon? So
They gotta get one. All right. That will conclude our episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're broadcast live from the Crescent Lounge. Shout out the Crescent Lounge. This is the Currency Podcast, and hopefully we will come back again, talk about this some other time. Thank you very much.
Can I plug up some of my
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
real quick?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me go down the line. We got the Reckless Mercy film coming out soon. It'll be on Amazon Prime, maybe Tubi. The Unchained, Amazon Prime, Tubi, The Unchained. That'll be a good one. This by Zach Osborne, Reckless Mercy by my friend Nathan Widener. Monday nights here at the Crescent Lounge. We host an open mic from 7 to 11. That's what's about to happen right now after I close this. Be sure to show some love for your boy Matt Connor. He does a lot for us. And I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. God bless America.
Absolutely.